I'm going to show you how to prepare perfect images for your Apple Wallet and Google Pay passes. Now in this case, I'm going to be creating a coupon, but you can use exactly the same process for other passes and indeed use exactly the same template for a loyalty card. The first thing to do is from this help article or our other parts of the library within PassKit.com is just download the Adobe Illustrator Images template. That will provide you with the artboards you need to make sure you've got exactly the right dimensions for your Apple Wallet and Google Pay passes. Now I've downloaded that already, so I'm going to go straight into my Illustrator where I have this file. Now you can see it's presented with instructions for use, also a couple of examples which we can zoom in on the left hand side, just basically giving you guidance where certain images sit, the dimensions of those images. Now this is a useful document if you did want to pass it on to your design team. You can see where the Apple logo sits, you can see where text sits, you can see where a hero image sits, and other things that you'll require when you're actually coming to design the pass, like color, description, anything else you want to sit on the back of an Apple Wallet pass. And then what do you want the redeemed state of a coupon to look like? In the case of a coupon, the Google Pay equivalent of a coupon, you can see here, shows where the Google logo sits, what color you want, whether you got the hero image, the dimensions of those hero images, and again, whether you want different text on the Google Pay pass compared to Apple Wallet. And then similar to what I showed before, what does it look like after redemption? What does the hero image look like redeemed? And again, with all of those dimensions. Okay, so let's go and take a start. So you can see, you can read these instructions or guidelines at your own pace, these examples. Then you can see there's instructions on how to use this Adobe Illustrator board. I mean, if you're not familiar with Adobe Illustrator, you can follow these instructions, but maybe you're doing it in Photoshop or some other image editing tool, but the dimensions will go through exactly the same. And the advice I'll give you here can be applied irrespective of what image editing tool you're using. So firstly, the artboards that are in here are the correct dimensions for all pass images. So don't alter the artboard sizes, and we'll run through how to export for screens if you are using Illustrator. I will talk about the dimensions for each of these images, just in case you're using a different image editing tool. So the first one is the Apple Wallet icon. Now that doesn't appear in the examples to the left-hand side, but this is the icon that appears on Apple Wallet when someone is in a location where they've got a coupon that's relevant or a membership card that's relevant and you've embedded that location, or where end user is receiving an updated message, whether that's updating them on the points or it's telling them the coupon has been redeemed. The Apple Wallet icon appears on that lock screen next to the text. And the dimensions for that icon are 87 pixels by 87 pixels. So if I look at the properties of this artboard, you can see 87 by 87. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit on this one. And I'm going to be using this to create a new Burger King coupon. So in this, I want to put the Burger King logo, and I happen to have the SVG or the AI file of the Burger King logo. It's a simple case of just copying. So I'm going to Command C. If you're not familiar with that, you can go up here with copy. I'm going to come into my template and I'm going to Command V, which pastes it. Now obviously that's bigger than 87 by 87. So I'm just going to change the size of this and I'm going to move it into this artboard here. Okay, let's zoom back in again, and I'm just going to align that with the artboard, make sure it's perfectly central. There we go. Okay, so now one thing to note with the Apple lock screen icon is you can see that this is a transparent logo. We've got a bit of white background, but it's transparent. It's got a transparent background here. Now, if that was to display on the lock screen, that will actually show up anything transparent, or what we call an alpha channel will show as black if it does not have a color. And that typically doesn't look very good. So Apple, when it presents the lock screen, will have a slight radius here, like you'd imagine the Apple icons are, but it won't display the full round. So what I find and advise is let's just put a background color behind this one. And now I've got basically this is on a white background. So when it's displayed on the Apple Wallet lock screen, it will be displayed nicely with a white background, slightly rounded edges, but you won't have any sort of black coloring around it. Okay, so that's the Apple icon that appears on the lock screen. Now let's go down to the Apple logo. Now, if you take a look at the Apple Pass logo, which is this one here, the dimensions for this are 480 by 150, so 480 pixels wide by 150 high. It does not need to take up the full space of 480, and 150 is the maximum, but 480 is the absolute maximum you could go to with an icon. Now let's go and quickly take a look at what this looks like on a pass, which we can see here. So you can see here, it takes up this space. So we recommend that you always left justify the Apple logo because you do have room here for other things like expiry date. You may even have other fields. You could put up to a couple of fields in this side of things. So if you have a small logo or not something that's extra wide, make sure you put it to the left-hand side. It just looks better. So we're going to do that. Again, we're going to use the same Burger King logo, so it's quite easy in my case. I'm just going to copy and paste the logo. You notice that I'm not copying and pasting the white background. Now, there's a reason for this, which I will talk about. So we're going to make that big enough to fit in there. I'm going to keep it to the left. I'm not going to worry about this space because it's just going to be empty and transparent. Now, in this case, do not put a color in the background. Do not put any color here. Don't try to match the color of the pass with the logo. Keep that transparent. Because what's going to happen, if we go over here, you can see a BK Text Club example, and they just have a black logo, and the space is transparent. So the color of the pass in this case, which is an orange color, is showing through. Now, if I put a background of that orange color with the same hex code for the pass, unfortunately it won't be perfect because the way that Apple treats its passes, there will be a slight difference even in the hex code that you see on Apple Wallet to what you put behind here. So we always recommend leave the background as a transparent background for your logo. In this case, for Burger King, there is a white background behind Burger King, but it is a circle, and that's consistent with their branding. So we're going to leave that for Apple Wallet. So now we're going to the Apple Hero image, and the official speech for the Apple Hero is the Apple strip image. And in this case, this is going to be the strip image for the pre-redeemed pass, so the coupon that hasn't been used yet. I have cheated a little bit that I've got those images already prepared. So I'm going to place the image. I'm going to go here, and you can see here I've got a naming convention. This is for free nuggets, Apple Hero, and I'm going to place that here. Now, this is quite good that it's not quite central. In this case, again, I've got transparent. So where this not set on the white, it's a bit difficult when you're sometimes in an artboard and Illustrator. This has a transparent background. The chicken nuggets in this case nicely pop on a serviette, and the wording pops, and then I'm going to place that exactly in the right location on the artboard itself. Now that white is actually transparent and will be replaced, so the color of the pass will shine through. So if we go back to the example here, so you can see here the background color, which is this orange, is shining through, is let through because the rest of that image is transparent. So if you want that kind of effect, then make sure you leave the background of the image, and this also applies for Google, the hero image, as transparent. By all means, you don't have to have transparent. I'm going to show you actually in the next one. So that's the pre-redeemed, so the non-used coupon, and then this one is the image after it's been redeemed. So I'm going to place my Apple redeemed image, which I've prepared earlier. And in this case, I don't want any of the color to shine through of the pass. So I've got a full bleed image. So this one's quite a nice image. So before they've used it, well, they'll see this with whatever color I choose for the coupon shining through. And after they've redeemed it, they'll see this image on the pass. Great, so that's the Apple images done. Now we're going to take a look at the Google Pay logo. Let's remind ourselves what this looks like. So the icon that they show at the top, you can see it's round. I'm going to talk about that. And then the hero image is here. Similar treatment and style with a transparent background, but a different size. So we do need to take that into account to make sure it's perfect. This sized image is 660 pixels by 660 pixels. Now, the way that Google treats this, the logo should fit within a 15% margin, so it's not cut off when masked. So you want to ensure that the logo fits within the safe area, which I've shown as a guide here. And don't pre-mask it, so still put it on as a full square, because Google will take care of cropping that into a circle when they present it onto a Google Pay Pass. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this and put this here. I want it to safely fit inside those marks. Let's grow it to about there and center it. Okay, I could probably go a bit bigger actually, but it wants to sit within those safeguards. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I know that that's going to definitely be presented. Now again, leave it with a full bleed background. So in this case, it's the same as what we talked about on the Apple icon. Now I know that this has a full bleed, the white background, so it will be displayed with white. And Google, once you've uploaded this to PassKit, which will become a bit clearer soon, this will be then cropped when it turns into a Google Pay image. But I know that the icon is safe because it's in the safe area. Okay, now we've got the Google Pay hero images, and they do indeed call it hero, slightly different size. So before we had 1125 by 432 for Apple. For Google, it's 1032 by 336. Now, in many cases, I could, let's just, take this image, copy it down here, see if it works around about, maybe squeeze it down a little bit. So you can, you can take the same image and make it work. But for me, a bit of a perfectionist, I'm going to use an image that is exact for that size. So delivered something here, made these in another editing tool. So I've got the perfect positioning for 1032 by 336. Again, this is a transparent background. So if I go up and have a look here, the color of the pass itself, the background color, is going to shine through. And then I'm going to do exactly the same for the redeemed image. I've just now perfected it for the Google Pay signs, the Google Pay sizes of 1032 by 336. Let's place that here. Google here, redeemed, and boom, let's put that there. And we are looking golden. Cool. Great. So now I've done all of my images. Let's just double check. So I've got my Apple Lockscreen icon, 87 pixels by 87 pixels. I've got my Apple logo, which is a maximum of 480 by 150. I have my Apple hero image pre-redeemed, so before use, which is 1125 by 432. I've got my Apple redeemed image, which is also 1125 by 432, so just replace that image. I've got my Google Pay logo, which is 660 by 660, but make sure that you've got the icon fitting within that safe area, which is a 15% margin. And I've got my Google Pay hero image pre-redeemed and my Google Pay hero image redeemed. Now in Illustrator, they've got a really nice tool which I can export those artboards to screens. So I go here, I can click on export, and I see here export for screens. Now the way I've set this template up is you don't want to export the instructions, but I want to export artboard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is quite a nice little check. You can see that where it's white, I've put that white background in, but where it's transparent, it's a slightly gray. This is just showing the artboards. And you obviously want to choose where you want to put those images. Because they're all set up correctly for exactly the right size for Apple passes and Google passes, I want to scale at 1x. In this case, because I want to keep the images lightweight, but I also want to account for the transparent layer, I do want to use PNG. But if I use PNG on its own, then the image sizes will be quite high, and you don't need to go to that higher grade. You won't see any difference within an Apple Wallet pass or Google Pay pass. So we want to be PNG 8, which still gives a great resolution, still allows us to carry the alpha channel, the transparent channel across, and yet will also be about 25% of the size if I was using normal PNG, which will mean the pass will load quicker, it'll take up less memory in the phone. So we're always trying to think of the most efficient use of these images, and that's it really. So I'm going to click on export artboards, and all of those images will now be exported from Illustrator and saved into the location that I've chosen. In this case, we're actually going to change this to pictures BK demo. So I'm going to choose that and then going to go export. Boom. And there you can see it. So it's exported all of the artboards with the name. So I've got Apple icon. It puts the -8 there just to indicate it's a PNG 8. And you can see they're all pretty decent sizes. So 2 kilobytes, 5 kilobytes. This is really nice. If you've got that type of size, then the weight of the pass is going to be low and it's load even quicker. Okay, now we have the images to create our coupons. We're going to log into app.passkit.com and start to design the pass designs for Apple Wallet and Google Pay. So logging into my screen, I can see here I have the option to start a new project. So let's click on that button, and I'm presented with different types of wizards, starter wizards, loyalty cards, coupons, and membership cards. Now, depending on when you're watching this, you may see other options there too. In this case, we're creating a coupon, so pretty straightforward what I want to do here. I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to be taken through a wizard to create the card. Now, the wizard is the easiest and quickest way to get a coupon, first test coupon into Apple Wallet and Google Pay, and then we'll show you how to tweak that design as we've got an even more powerful designer tool after you've gone through the wizard. So let's click on continue. Let's put in our campaign details. Obviously, you're putting your campaign details in there, organization name. Now, if you remember looking at the lock screen message that we showed during putting together the icon, that's the organization name that will appear on the lock screen as well. So then you also have the option to choose your time zone. I'm going to leave this as is, but if you want to change it to a certain time zone that's appropriate for your coupon, then you can choose from a very extensive list. Click on next. Okay, we're going to give this a title, then give it a short title as well. This is just helpful. You'll see how this appears on a pass as we go a bit later. What I tend to do in the wizard is just quickly put something in here so that I can check out the design quickly. So you can see here it's pretty straightforward. I can always come back to edit those. For this card, we're going to start from the 30th of June, and this offer ends. Let's make it end on the 8th of August. And also you can redeem the coupon all the way up to that offer end date. And in this case, I want the expire on the card expiring on the offer end date. So if the card is not used or redeemed before then the card will automatically expire on the offer end date. You've got other options here as well. You could expire on the redemption end date. So if you change to a different date here, or a fixed period after enrollment. So for example, once someone adds this to their coupon and you want to give them 30 days in which to use it, you could still have an offer and start date and end date up to 90 days. You could still have a redemption start and end date up to 90 days within that offer start and end date. But you may choose to expire a coupon in someone's wallet 30 days after they've installed it into their wallet. In this case, I'm going to keep it fairly simple and put it as the expires on offer end date. You could equally put expiry date provided on issue. That would need to either be done using the PassKit API or you could use our smart pass links. So in this case, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do it on the offer end date, which will be the 8th of August. In this case, we do provide the opportunity for you to collect data if you wanted to personalize these coupon, or if you want to understand who is installing the coupon, getting some rich data. Because this coupon is just something we want to drive traffic, I'm not necessarily looking for personalized information, I'm going to not collect any data. And the reason being is that when a customer visits the pass link, they're going to see the coupon straight away. We're not personalizing it, basically replacing a batch coupon that we're sending out. But I would encourage you to have a play with these, but I'm going to go straight through that, and we'll do another session on how to best use data collection. Okay, and then you get a bit of an easy way to choose, well, what do you want to show on the pass? In this case, I do want to show when it expires. I do want to show a little bit more about the offer details, and I do want to show the offer short title. Don't worry too much about the perfection of this picture here. This is just a representation as you're passing through the wizard. And just, we can always come back to here when we go into the more detailed designer. So let's just skip through this one. Now upload my logo. Now you remember we had a Google logo which was 660 by 660. That's the place where we click on this. We're taken to our pictures. If you remember now, we had the Google logo, which was this one. I click on that, and my Google logo is nicely embedded there. You can actually see what this has done is the next step is chosen the colors from the logo to update the color of the pass. It's a pretty cool function that you can take advantage of if you don't have brand colors, but I'll get into how we change that a bit later. My Apple icon, you remember we talked about here not having a transparent background, so you can see what happens if you do have a transparent background. You get this nasty black around here. So I am going to change this logo, and my icon is called Apple icon. There you go, nice white looking Apple icon. The Apple strip image, so in this case it's called Apple Hero, and this is before redemption. So I'm just creating the pre-redeemed offer here. Google Hero image, before redemption. So this is where it helps to have nicely worded images. Now in this case, you could choose from the logo. It actually looks pretty cool. But I know that in this case, we've got some brand colors. So we're going to use those brand colors on these coupons. Now I can either pick from here and play around and have a look at that, or I can just paste my hex code in here and the pass changes to the color that is the brand recognized colors for these digital coupons. In this case, the label color and the text color is black. I could change these if I wanted again, and you can see on the pass they would change here and the text color would change here. Now one thing to note is that while that text color and label color works on Apple Wallet, there won't be any changes on Google Pay passes. That's the text color is actually chosen from the background color, so you've got less flexibility here. But you know, looking at it, looks quite nice. You can see why we had the transparent background for these strip and hero images. Now the pass color shines through. You know, one thing that's important to bear in mind, this is just a web rendering of what your pass will look like when you get it into your phone. But as with everything, you want to make sure and test it looks exactly as you want it to look when it's in the phone. So we'll come to that at the end of the wizard. That's the next thing that you're going to do. So we're good with what that looks like. Click on next. Now we could put a barcode in this one, but similar to how Burger King are currently using passes, we're going to use customer initiated redemption. I'll show you how to set that up as we get to the final stages of distributing your coupons. So I don't need any barcode on this particular pass because we're not going to do a point of sale integration. But if you did want some action to be taken, barcodes are basically a quick way to input information into a computer system. So phone or barcode hardware scans this, and it's connected to a browser or connected to a point of sale. Whatever's embedded in here will be entered into the field that the barcode is pointing to. So in this case, the default is to put into the pass ID, which is a unique ID that PassKit provides, but there's nothing stopping you putting in your own. Let's say you've got an external ID, and if you wanted to refer to how to input that external ID at point of issue, you could refer to our API documentations, or I would also refer to the Smart Pass links where you could have a million rows in a CSV with different IDs that you want to embed in a barcode. So that could be an SKU or a universal product code, or indeed if you just wanted to enter a standard number, because you're only going to be scanning it with a standard number for the same coupon, then you can also do that. Okay, well, I won't go too much into barcodes now. I will do another session on barcodes, but let's, for this case, we're not going to choose any barcodes, so just click none, pretty straightforward. And you are almost done. So a quick check. anything you want to do. If you do want to go back and tweak a few things in the wizard, you can, but to be honest, the easiest thing is just to check this in the past now. So I'm going to save and next, and it's creating my coupon. Now, this is the beautiful thing. Before we move further, we have the opportunity to scan the QR code. So, while I've talked through it, it's taken a little bit longer than 10 minutes to come through that. I'm going to scan with my phone. So I'm going to scan using, and I'm just on my iPhone here, I'm going to scan that. You see I have a link here. I'm clicking through to the link, and instantaneously I'm seeing what that offer looks like. That looks pretty cool. Okay. So it's got the right color. We can see the image here. Now you can see the logo that it's using is what we do here is to get it in a wallet quickly is put the Google logo in. Now we're going to come and tweak this even further, but we're going to go into the detailed designer for both Google Pay and Apple Wallet next. But this is the first step, and I've now just created a pass for Apple Wallet, and I could do the same. I could get my Google phone out and check what that looks like in Google Pay. But before we do that, we're going to do some more tweaking. So let's click on Project Overview. Okay, now that we've clicked on Project Overview, we've got to the Project Overview page. I'm not going to go into detail on this page, but as you can see at the top, there's this tab called Designs. Now, this allows us to further tweak the design of our coupon. So remember, we've done the 4-piece nuggets. I'm now going to click on Edit Design. And whereas the wizard was the quickest way to be able to get you to design a coupon using most of the best practices associated with a coupon, or if you're chosen loyalty card or membership card, it would use best practices and allows you to click through. Now you've got a real rich designer with 3 tabs at the top: Google Design, Apple Design, and Barcode NFC. So because Google and Apple Design are relatively different, I mean, obviously there's some functionality that's the same, but there's differences. This designer allows you to really get into the detail and make sure that the pass looks perfect for both Google and Apple. But the wizard's a really important starter just to get you there quickly rather than you having to learn the layout of Apple and Google Pay. So that's the first step. Come into the designer, be familiar that you now have the ability to further tweak the Google and Apple Pay design. Now let's do some tweaks. Now the logo image is looking good for me. The hero image is looking good for me. I know the colors are looking good for me. What I did notice is, I know that the Apple logo has been bought from the Google design. So I want to update this, if you recall, to the one with the transparent background. You can see how the white backgrounds come here. What this would look like in Apple, you'd have this white background, bearing in mind that this web preview is just showing as a guidance of what your pass would look like in Apple. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, choose the Apple logo, which we prepared earlier. Now that pops much better, so we don't have a white square behind it. It's just the Burger King logo sat on the transparent background, so that's much better. I'm happy with the strip image. So these images are good for me there. I mean, I always just like to save as I go. You can get all the way through and then click save. I just as a practice, I tend to save. That will take you back to the Google design image each time, but I just end up liking to do that. So, that's... Now go and play a bit further. I'm going to start with the Apple design and see that I'm happy. I like the expiry date there. I could change the alignment, but it's done a really nice job for me already. I could change the date format. No, I want to do that. Now, here's an important bit. If you want a lock screen message to appear on an iPhone when a value changes, you need to have %at. Now, don't worry, it's not techie. %at is ultimately telling PassKit to then talk to the Apple devices to replace %at with whatever the new value is. So if a value changes to another value, we will put that new value in the %at space. So let me give you a real example. So this coupon now expires on %at. at. So we know that we've set the expiry date for this coupon campaign to be the 8th of August. But let's say you see that it's been very successful, or maybe you've run out of chicken nuggets, so you want to change the expiry date. Now, unlike paper, once you've delivered that, you can't reprint it. Equally, once you've sent an email out, other than sending another email or another SMS, you can't change it. With digital wallet passes, we can make an update to that, very much like you could update a web page. But in this case, unlike a web page, we can actually deliver a lock screen message to the iOS user to tell them that something's changed on the pass, which is really, really powerful. A nice subtle way to engage with your customers and let them know of information that's useful. So let's say we've changed it from the 8th of August and we're doing, we want to extend it to the 31st of August. If I now change the expiry date value and I save that, or I push that via the API, the PassKit API, the customers that have this pass installed in their phone will receive a message that says this coupon now expires on the 31st of August, or whatever that date is you change it to. So really powerful stuff. I would recommend pretty much going into any field within Apple and making sure that it's got, I'm going to quickly flick on that, see what this one says. Making sure it's got a percentage at here. So if you did want to, in this case, it might be a bit strange if you did change the offer, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to say offer is now percentage at. So if the offer value does change from the 4-piece chicken nuggets, and you change that, and maybe you change the image, maybe find that 4-piece nuggets didn't work very well, so you do a quick change and changes to free 6-piece nuggets, and that would then say, if you change the value of the offer title, it would now say the customers who have this installed says offer is now 6 free nuggets. So again, it's just a good practice to go into each of these fields and make sure it's got percentage at. Even if you just put percentage at, the message on the lock screen would be whatever the new value is. It's very useful for membership cards or loyalty cards where you've got points. So for example, if you'd have a points balance, you'd say you now have percentage at points. So we make sure that it's percentage at, because obviously you might be using different languages where that percentage at may make better sense at the beginning of a sentence, depending on what language you have. And then that simply will take the value that changes and replace percentage at with that new value. Okay, so now I want to make some changes to the text on the coupon. I'm pretty happy with the images, went through percentage at, so we know we've got some change messages there. I'm going to start making some changes on the Google design. Now I can see a rendering of it on this side, and I know I've got these tabs and details to use here. But one thing I do is a quick check as I'm in Chrome. So I've already saved this, so I come back out here, and you see this tab here called distribution. So I can now click on this distribution link, and this is ultimately the pass URL that you would share, the public URL in this case, that I'd share for people to be able to get this coupon. And because I'm in Chrome, I can click on that link, and I'm displayed what we've got, the sort of the preview page of the coupon, offered it before I choose to add it to my Apple Wallet or Google Pay. In this case, I'm going to click on the Android device because I'm Chrome. Now, I could even scan this with my iPhone. I could scan it with my Android device. But within Chrome, I have a nice feature where I can take a look at the pass within my desktop view as it would look within Google Pay. So I'm going to click on Save to Phone, and now I'm jumping into the Google Pay user experience via desktop. So I'm going to save this pass. That's actually now being transferred via my Google account into my Google Pay on my Android device. So if I got whipped out my Android device, I'd see this within my Android device, but I'm going to look at it on my desktop. It's just a quick check that I take a look at it. So I can see, the colors look nice. It's rendered the image nice here. I can see what's up here, Burger King 4-piece nuggets. You wouldn't see this, obviously, inside your Android device because you'd be within Google Pay, but everything else is pretty much looking as I would see it on my Android device. So I can see it's already got the expiry field. Now, you're probably saying, oh, hang on a second, we put the expiry date to the 8th of August. So why is it showing the 2nd of July? And in particular, why is it showing 3/37? Well, actually, when I clicked on the link, it was 3/37 on the 30th of June. And because I'm using test passes, all test passes will expire in 48 hours. All test passes have this legal disclaimer on here. So they're not for commercial use. This is for me to develop the look and feel of the pass, make sure that it works. works, integrate it into my systems and applications as required before I go live. Now, there's no charge for test passes, but of course there's a limitation on how many test passes we can keep in our database, so they will automatically expire within 48 hours. But that gives me, I know that will be replaced when we go to production with the 8th of August, or whatever I put the expiry date to be. I can see that it's got from. Now here I can see details. It just says offer details. So I'm going to look for that text back in the designer, replace offer details with something that's a little bit more appropriate. So let's go back to the PassKit portal, go to my designs. Now I can edit the design here. So I can look here, see for my details. And yeah, that offer details corresponds to offer details. So I can put whatever details I want in here. In this case, I'll say, please mention this coupon before ordering, no substitutions, etc., etc., etc. So I'm using this as a kind of a terms and conditions, and then I'm going to save that. And actually, let's just refresh that. And you can see instantaneous. Now I can see what the details look like here. So while we provide a basic visual reference for the design, sometimes it's quite nice just to take a look at the pass of what it looks like in Google Pay. You can similarly do that using an Apple distribution, put it into your phone, make the changes, press save. Now there will be a little bit of lag time, you know, that in the Google browser perspective, I'm just connected to the same internet here, then pulling the latest record from PassKit. Occasionally when you're on your phone, it might take a little bit longer for that update to come, or you have to manually refresh the pass. But it's a nice way of checking that your pass is looking and feeling as you want it to by using the detailed designer for Google Pay and Apple. Okay, so the next things I want to consider is a few more useful links on both Google and Apple. Now I'm going to start with Google Design. One of the things that we can add here is maybe a link to a store locator. So you can see here on Google Design, all the links will be at the bottom of the pass. You have a number of different types of links: web, phone, email, location, or calendar. In this case, I have a website where people can search for their local Burger King. So I'm going to put the title on for the link, or find your local Burger King, and then the URL for that. I can put like that. Now I click add. Now that's added to my Google Design. So save that. I'm going to go to my Apple Design. So I want to add some links on my Apple Design as well. So first thing I want to do is link to an app. Now, if you don't have an app, obviously you wouldn't use this feature. But in this case, Burger King do have an app. So you can choose, if appropriate, the app iTunes Store. And we've made it really easy for you. You can just search for Burger King. And I'm going to link to the app, which will be displayed on the back of the pass here. That's pretty cool. And you can see it's already bought in the new terms and conditions that I put on the Google Pay. So I'm going to save that. Now, what else do I want to put on the Google Design? I've put the local Burger King, so I'm going to put the redemption link a bit later. I'll come to that. On the Apple Design, on the back of the pass, what I want to do here is I want to put a link to the restaurant locations. Now, this handles slightly differently, so I want to add a new field here. And we're going to say we want to create text, and we're going to call this locations, just in case you're using the API. And in this case, we're going to call the title of this field is restaurants. And now, again, don't feel scared about this, but it's just a little bit of HTML. It's what we call an href. And you simply put a href equals wherever you want that URL, whatever URL you want to be pointing to, and then within these two arrows, whatever you want the text to appear. So on the back of the pass, we'll see find your local Burger King, and that will be a hyperlink which will take them to the location's URL that we've used in the links on Google Design. So I'm going to create that. Now I can see it's nicely here. Now maybe it would be nice to be, do I want restaurants above the terms and conditions? It's up to you. You can move those, and you can see it's just rendered here. Maybe we put the terms and conditions there. Let me just check on this type. So actually, what I want to do here is take that off, put that down there, and make that read terms and conditions in this case. Again, you're just like playing with it and making sure that it really does look different. And do you remember what we said about the Apple Wallet, Apple lock screen? Maybe you might want to let them know that the terms and conditions have changed. So we can say here and just put %at. And that would, if the terms and conditions change, then that value would just be shown here. Now, if it's that long, it would be curtailed short on the lock screen, but at least it would trigger a lock screen showing something's changed from Burger King. So that's done for terms and conditions. Let's have a look at that now. So that's looking good. Find your local Burger King, Apple design. That's looking nice. Barcode. We know we're not using any barcode in this case. So I think as a basic, I mean, you can add links to your social media. You can link to your website. If you've got online ordering, you could put that in there. So I think I feel pretty happy with the coupon as is. But again, you can tweak this as much as you want. What I'm going to show you now is we want to, when the customer uses the coupon, we want to change the coupon. So in this other actions, I can click Edit Redeemed Design. Okay, exactly the same designer. You can see things here. It's already got the redeemed on link. It's got details here. It's who it's from. But you remember, we don't want to advertise for free 4-piece chicken nuggets anymore. So we're going to delete that and replace that with a Google redeemed image. Well, there you go. Very nice. Now you could have that saying thank you, or maybe even teasing them with other offers or other things that you think would be appropriate for them. But we're going to save that one, and we're going to do exactly the same for the image on the Apple wallet. The rest of the icons, the icon and the logo image, can stay exactly the same. So now I'm going to do Apple Hero Redeemed, and a nice look here. Now I've noticed that this is still carried over from the wizard design, so I'm going to delete this one, make sure I've got the latest Apple logo on this past design. Right, there you go, much better. It's popping now. It already replaces expired with redeemed on, still carries the offer here. Again, we can change those sorts of things. So it's just really about playing around with the designer to get it looking as cool and acting as you want it to. There's nothing better than testing this on your device. So we're just trying to be as efficient as possible with this tutorial to make sure you know how to use all the features. But the best thing is just to keep playing around with this. So we've now got a redeemed design. Back of the past, we've already got redeemed. I could put the links on here if I wanted to sort of add another link to the store locator. Then like we did before, find your local Burger King, I can add that back in there. It's always good if they've redeemed it. We can still have them the ability to find their local Burger King. So they've saved that. Now what we want to do is make sure that we take advantage of the customer initiated redemption within this. Now you could, obviously you can redeem this using the API. And if you use the PassKit API and send a redeem call, then the coupon would change to this new interface. But if you're not using the API, you're not integrating, maybe you're not integrating with your POS, like in this case Burger King didn't do, we're going to set up that in settings. Now there's already another video of about 20 minutes that shows you the details of setting up customer initiated redemption, but I'm going to quickly show you how I set this up. In this case, we're going to use a single code that's shown to the cashier when they click on redeem on their pass. So in this case, we've already edited the redeem pass. Now we go to settings. The details are contained here. So if I wanted to change information here, I can also do that. So even though I went through a wizard, I still have the ability to change if I change my mind on expiry date. Similarly, I have the ability to change the dates within here. I could even change the dates after those passes have been issued. In this case, remember we're in a test project, so the passes will always expire after 2 days. And now, most importantly, we're going to go into redemption. Now, as default, it's set as API redemption. This time I want to choose the customer initiated redemption. I could keep the API on as the other redemption video would have explained, but I'm just going to turn off customer initiated. I'm going to choose the code shown to cashier. So I'm going to give it the fixed code that will be shown and you can see it just nicely displays here 8952. I've got here click to redeem, so I think I'm going to put tap to redeem. That'll appear on the pass. I could actually show a barcode as well. So if I'm not using the pass to scan, but if the barcode would, if there's a barcode attached to the POS, I could use that instead of the serving staff entering 8952. I could scan it and that would enter 8952. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this side, but here's what I've put into all of the options. So I can see what the redemption looks like, redeem in the next 600 seconds. What the success message, or what I want the instructions to be, use code at cashier. I want the footer text. I want a successful redemption message, enjoy your food. Or if it's already been redeemed, this coupon has already been redeemed. If they cancel from the warning message, which is this dialogue text. So I'll test this. I've put this coupon will expire in 10 minutes. If you're not ready to redeem in the restaurant, and if you click cancel, then that message, please come back later when you're ready to redeem. If the coupon has expired, so you could expire a particular coupon, we're sorry, the coupon has expired, and if these offers expired, it's now finished. And it's pretty much that simple. Okay, once you're happy with all of these things and all the messages, just click update. So the offer is updated. And we need to add this link to the design in Apple Design and Google Pay, as you would have seen on the other video. Now I can either copy that, so the link's copied, or I can add the link. So the redemption link is now added to the design of the pass. Pretty neat, eh? Let's go back and have a look at those designs. So just click on here, edit design, go into here, and you can see now I've got the tap to redeem link. Maybe I want to even move it up. Let's save that. And on the back of the pass, tap to redeem. Super cool. Move that to the back of the pass, and now I have the tap to redeem link already put onto my pass. Save that, and now you're pretty much good to go. You can obviously tweak all of these different bits and pieces. What I strongly recommend you do, particularly while you're in test, is go to distribution and just scan this with your QR code scanner on your iPhone, or scan it with a QR code on your Android, or click on this link. We're then going to be taken to this. I could scan this and get that pass within my Apple Wallet, or as I did before, I'm going to save this to phone. I'm going to view the offer. I'm going to just do it in this screen. So again, remember we've got a 48-hour expiry just because this is a test pass. I have this test pass information here, but at the bottom, great. I've got my logo of Burger King, which I can see pointing to locations.bk, and I've got my tap to redeem. So I can go ahead and give this a try just inside my desktop. Check that all of this right. Yep, that's saying exactly what I wanted to say. The coupon will expire in 10 minutes. I'm okay to do that. Presents the code, because I've included the QR code in this case. The redeem is counting down. That's the one to present, and that's fantastic. Maybe if I go back, and because I've just gone back to, it says redeemed here. Has it removed the redeem link? Yep. So it's removed the redeem link, and it's acting exactly as I wanted to. The image is now changed. So that's pretty much it. So you go and play with the coupon designer, the redemption links. As you noted, I've actually done no coding. The most coding that I did was to insert an HTML reference within the Apple design so that you could click on a link on the back of the pass and go to the BK locations. Now that I've checked it on Google Pay inside Chrome, I do want to do a double check with my iPhone. So I'm going to use the built-in scanner from the camera. I'm going to scan the QR code. You can see the link pops up. Now let's go and take a look at if the pass looks and feels as I need it to. Yep, so it's a 4-piece nuggets. That's exactly as I designed it. I'm going to add that to my pass. View my pass in Apple Wallet, and it nicely takes me to this one. I've got many Burger King coupons in here. I can click on the bottom of the pass to see if the redemption link is there. Perfect. I can see terms and conditions there. I can see the link to find your local burger. So you can see here how it prettifies that. Whereas if I click on that, that will actually open up the mobile website. In this case, I just want to test. You can see it's linking to the app as I wanted it to. Now I'm going to test the redemption. So click on tap to redeem. Takes me to the redemption page. The coupon will expire in 10 minutes. That's the warning message. It's nice. Click on OK. And now I've got the redemption code there that I would show to cashier. I've got the moving clock. So I've got 10 minutes to use it. The QR code, should I scan that at the point of sale? So 8952 would be automatically entered. I've got the Burger King logo. So everything's looking as I designed it. Now, that test was important because everything worked according to what I wanted, but I didn't get a lock screen message on my Apple device to say that the pass had been redeemed. So I need to go to Edit Redeem Design and see if I put that percentage at in. So if I go to Redeemed On, let's take a look here. So that's why. So I've got redeemed on. This was automatically put in using the customer initiated redemption. The label text is redeemed on. It's going to put a date in there, dependent on the date. But as with all, we need to put a percentage at here. So again, I'm going to put thank you, enjoy your free nuggets on percentage at. Save that. And now I'm going to go through the process again with an Apple device. So what you'll find is you do want to try these things out to make sure that the experience is perfect. Everything you want to be able to do, you can do from the portal, other than some sophisticated things that you might need to use the API with. But pretty much, as you've seen, I've had no coding here, and I'm going to try and test this out again. So I'm going to use my camera again, scan the code, open up on my iPhone. Again, I get another free nuggets. I'm going to check add. Okay, so that one is gone into my wallet. Well, now I'm going to redeem this one. So same again, tap to redeem. Coupon's going to expire, click OK. Now that's showing me 8952. And in a short while, there we go. Thank you, enjoy your free nuggets. And now that message came through very nicely as I expected. So great to do the test. Make sure that you've got percentage at not only in your pre-redeemed design, just in case you change anything, but also in your redeemed design as well.